Hey guys, Jessica here with Theory Real Estate, and welcome to another Theory Thursday. Today we're going to help you navigate the somewhat confusing world of buying a home. We'll be going over 5 real estate terms you may not know. There's a whole lot more to buying a home than these 5 terms, and we go over all of that and more at our first time homebuyer workshop, which we hold once a month. Message us to find out more about our next workshop. Term 1, contingency. A contingency defines a condition or action that must be met in order for a real estate contract to become binding. If a buyer or seller is unable to satisfy a contingency, then the offer on a home may become void. Contingencies usually include timeframes in which a buyer can get his earnest money back if the contingency isn't fulfilled before the deadline. For example, if a buyer schedules an inspection within the time specified on his contract and decides that the house is in need of too many repairs, he can rescind his offer and get his earnest money back. The second term is earnest money. Now, the earnest money deposit is an important part of the home buying process. It's essentially a deposit that shows the seller that you intend to purchase their property. It shows the seller you're a committed buyer and it helps fund your down payment. Earnest money is money that you pay 1 to 3 days after the seller has accepted your offer. The more earnest money you put down, the stronger your offer looks to the seller. In Washington State, a typical earnest money is anywhere from $1,000 to 10% of the purchase price. Your earnest money will be deposited into an escrow account. Once the sale of the home has been completed, the earnest money you paid will be applied toward your down payment. If you back out of the sale due to a failed contingency, you can recover your earnest money in full. If you back out of the sale for reasons not covered by contingencies, your earnest money will be forfeited. Before signing a purchase and sale agreement to buy a home, carefully review it with your real estate agent to understand how much earnest money you'll pay and how to successfully recover your earnest money if you need to back out of the sale. The third term is escrow. In a real estate transaction, escrow means putting something such as a deed or money in the custody of a neutral third party until certain conditions are met. Escrow or title companies facilitate a real estate transaction from initial earnest money deposit to final funding to ensure a smooth process. Once the transaction is complete, a lender may set up an escrow account on your behalf in which a portion of your monthly payment is deposited for property taxes and insurance. The fourth term is title. When real estate professionals talk about title, they're referring to who has legal ownership and the right to use a piece of property. As a buyer, you will receive a copy of the preliminary title report from a title company within a week after reaching mutual acceptance. The report identifies all parties with a legal claim to the property, what items or liens need to be cleared before you can take possession, and if there are any easements or encroachments on the property. Ultimately, title companies protect you from purchasing a home that you would not be able to sell in the future. Once the transaction closes, you will receive a final title policy recording your name as the new legal owner along with the principal loan amount. And finally, closing costs. Closing costs are fees paid at the closing of a real estate transaction. Closing costs cover fees associated with the sale of the home, like title and settlement services, title insurance, appraisal, lender fees, and other services carried out during closing. Closing costs are typically 2 to 5% of the home's price. The buyer's down payment must also be paid at closing, but is listed separately from the closing costs. Well, there you have it. These are 5 real estate terms you may not have known. If you have any more questions about the home buying process, feel free to shoot us a message or come to one of our first-time homebuyer workshops. Again, I'm Jessica, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.